was a term, wound that is, was a term that I used describing kind of the energy, what some would deem as like a crisis that may impact or will impact the regular people, not so much the people at the top. This is what happens when governments get into it with each other, or particularly what happened in America case. Governments all around this country are so stupid in terms of what they've been prioritizing with energy. The fact that we even import, there's some geographical area even imports energy from any fucking country, especially oil, is fucking retarded, considering there's plenty here. If anything, they should be exporting. However, politicians gonna politic. Let's say that. And because of Russia and the amount of oil that it exports, you're going to see pockets of Europe. You're going to see even points in America that are going to be impacted by way of this dumb shit. Let's say that. But that's just the reality. However, I think it's very important to understand that that's not something that is happening organically. There's two things. Before we watch this video, there's two things that I want to know about the self-inflicted wounds. Number one, when you consider the amount of regulations and what have you that often manned by the federal government, in which not only have they demonized, discouraged oil, be it drilling for it, be it fracking, be it fucking pipelines, whatever. It's not only just that, they have subsidized even more other forms of energy in return. Certainly as of late, if you look in the last years, you'd think that oil would be the biggest in terms of direct subsidy, not like tax break shit, not oil. It's more so this wind shit that they want and those renewable green energies, if you will. And by that, they do not mean nuclear. For whatever reason, again, going back to the point, self-inflicted wound, that's not anything that they prioritize. So even if a country is perfectly capable, be it oil or nuclear, of providing their own energy, they don't do it because the government has either made it illegal for them or it's not necessarily incentivized to even do that. And I think it's because it gives them sort of reason to be involved in so many other different countries and this sort of bargaining chip as it's being used right now, despite it making no fucking sense. I did a long thread on Twitter you can go check out where I talked about this in detail, where it's like sometimes things, I know our habit is to look at stuff and we say, well, this doesn't make any sense. So we want to look into it and we try to find a reason. We put our tinfoil hat on. I think sometimes you just got to keep it simplified. It's retarded because it is retarded. You know what I mean? It looks like that because it is retarded. But when you get to uber regulatory body regarding energy, this is the situation that you get into. Now, again, when you combine that with the direct subsidizing of other forms of energy, I'm not even going to call it unreliable. I'm just going to say that if lack of oil is going to be your issue, sounds kind of diametrically opposed to, I don't know, prevent people from looking for the shit or providing the shit. You know what I mean? Sounds kind of fucking stupid, huh? Because it is. But listen to this dope Jen Psaki, Raggedy Ann. Let's listen to her, what she has to say about this whole situation.
On oil leases, what this actually justifies, in President Biden's view, is the fact that we need to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, on oil in general, and we need to look at other ways of having energy in our country and others.
Okay, so that part, correct. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't an anti-trade position. Not for me. I can't speak for them. I think trade is a beautiful fucking thing. Of course, I'd rather countries trade than be at fucking war. But what we're talking about here, what makes this situation unique, it's not like, okay, the trade that's involved isn't coming from fucking deals with cronies and shit, which is exactly where it's motherfucking coming from. But more so, this isn't like another country providing something at a cheaper rate or that's something that we just literally, because of the land that we live on, we literally can't provide it. That's not what this is. This is simply not what this is regarding oil. So that first part is correct. But I also wanted to make sure I made that point about the trade, because I don't want anybody to think like, what are you against trade with other countries? Fuck no. Trade is a beautiful thing. But listen to what she's about to say here.
One of the interesting things, George, we've seen over the last week or so is that a number of European countries are recognizing they need to reduce their own reliance on Russian oil.
Okay, so she is confirming exactly what it is. Now, I know some of you guys that are Trump supporters, there was this video going around that was talking about, like, hold on, let me go to me real quick. Where he was talking to a bunch of leaders, Trump was, and he basically explained exactly this regarding Russia and European reliance upon them, which makes no fucking sense. And it seems like he was kind of laughed at out the room. The thing about that is that they're not looking, Jen Psaki as well as Biden are not looking to increase, particularly oil and gas production in this country. Like, so you say we shouldn't rely upon oil and gas, or oil from Russia. Okay, got you. But in the same respects, you demonize, you're not even encouraging, number one, but you especially demonize oil production in this country, and you don't want to increase oil production in this country. Well, then what the fuck? Because the demand is obviously there. The demand for it is obviously there. No matter how fucking green you guys are, the demand for it is obviously there. It's in what people deem as a necessity. But if you're not willing to increase sort of production in this regard, then all of these words of, well, we should be relying less upon Russia, it's hollow. It doesn't mean anything. It sounds great. It sounds great, but it's not a solution. There's no solution being proposed there. It's just we are relying upon Russian oil too much, especially the Europeans. We see that, and we want to decrease their reliance, but you're not increasing oil production in your own fucking country. And this is strictly a state-induced. It's a state problem, right? This is not some shit where companies or private enterprises aren't willing to provide. This isn't the case of that. This is strictly the fucking government strapping people's hands behind their backs. That's all this is. That's it. It's not even that complicated. It's simply that. It's simply the government created a problem. You're seeing the problem backfire because of this Ukrainian-Russian conflict, and they ain't gonna do shit about it to correct it. But you know why? And I'm gonna explain why real quick. I'm gonna end on this note. You know why they won't fix it? Because they're not gonna be as impacted as you guys are. And that's what sucks about war. That's what sucks about sanctions. That's what sucks about people being anti-trade. That's what sucks about all of that. It's that the people that implement the policies are not going to be feeling the brunt of the fucking the backlash, if you will. It's not going to be them. It'll be us. It'll be regular people trying to go about their lives, realizing, holy shit, my gas is $7 or fucking whatever it is. That's who it impacts right there. And again, it's not. No matter how often that these weirdos, they're gonna blame a climate, right? That's why all of this shit happened, right? It's like why they demonized oil, why they demonized nuclear. Well, even I don't know, nuclear thing is kind of weird because that doesn't make any sense. It's renewable and all of this shit as they like to scream, but they don't want to invest in it. It's like they acknowledge that it doesn't exist. But it's all wind, water shit, and that's it. That's about it. Primarily wind, and that's all they want to invest in. And they actually, in some cases, steal money from taxpayers in order to subsidize this shit. So it's not even a true demand here. Texas actually has a big problem fucking with that shit. It's not a true demand. It's just artificial, right? It's just not a case, and I reiterate that. It's not a case that of the market fucking up or the market failing, though they were presented at that. They're presented as two things: a market failure, even though they're the ones that strap people's fucking hands behind their back. They're either presented as a market failure or they're going to present it as, well, we can't do shit about it because of climate change, and increasing oil production would be antithetical to that. It's fucking stupid. And I want people to hold, the reason why I wanted to do this segment, because I want people to hold the right people accountable. Because if you see this issue and you start being impacted by it, and the minute you see that, or you start to feel that, you look to Russia and you say, Russia's the fucking problem. No. Your government in your own goddamn country is your problem. Period. That's what it is.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.